Welcome back. Getting right to it. All right. As always, starting with the dollar index. We had some good volume these last several weeks. We caught some nice setups last week in VIP as well. All right. Actually, I can show you that so you guys can see. Those of you that don't know, I do have a VIP Discord. All right, where I give out the exact targets, exact trade ideas with the take profits, the stop loss. So we can see here. Here's where I post all the trade ideas. Right, TP2 is hit on CAD JPY sale, 175 pips. All right, and also let's see, I believe it was all USD TP1 was hit, 75 pips. All right, so I post my ideas here, but I also post the exact trades I look to enter. All right, and we can see here as well, different testimonials, people winning. All right, we having people seeing some results. All right, my sis right here, she made a quick 227 on that AU setup. All right, we have people here taking funded challenges, getting funded accounts. So it's all good. You know what I mean? So this week, we're going to be looking to continue that. All right, continue that momentum. We have some nice setups forming. Okay, so we can look right here. Dollar index. All right, it's been bullish. We can clearly see we've been in that uptrend. Right, higher high, higher low, retest, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price continuing that bullish momentum. All right, so now we could possibly, I'm looking for some type of corrective play now to happen on the dollar. All right, and understanding structure. The next point I will look for it to come to after that correction is down here. We could get that correction, that retest, possibly here for that continuation up. All right, now price was to come down, retest this previous high and break, then we possibly would get a deeper corrective play before we get any more continued moves to the upside. All right, but overall, still bullish on the dollar. We'll see how things develop into the week. All right, so let's look at Euro USD. So it's important to understand the correlations. All right, when you're trading the majors versus understanding the dollar index bias, whether it's bullish or bearish. So you can see how the dollar index has been bullish, and if we look in here on the Euro USD, we on the weekly. It's clearly been making lower lows on lower highs. So this goes perfectly in line with the strength of the dollar. All right. So understand that. Now, what price is doing now, price continued this bearish momentum. So we had a sharp break, impulsive break of structure, creating a lower low. Now, what I would look for, all right, you see how this daily candle formed, bullish hammer, all right, bullish hammer, or some will call it pin bar. But this is a price action candle indication that price is likely to correct up more from here, because the fact that we see this on the daily time frame is even gives it more value, all right, in that said direction. So understanding that, if I see this like at a level of demand or support or structure, or at the end of a downtrend or within a downtrend. So with this, in this perspective, it's at the daily. All right, so I would look for price to come up, correct, and possibly retest. This would be my ideal entry area for a potential continuation move to the downside. All right, so I would look for something like that on EU. Now, if you're somebody that like to catch both moves as an intraday trader, you're looking for that counter move too. You could possibly catch that this week, early this week, to catch the counter move. Because if we look at this, I could take my trend line here, and you see price is now correcting up. If it continues to break above, something like this, continues to break above here. All right, with a break above, you could possibly look for a correction or a pullback or retest and continue that move up. All right, or it could possibly pull back some first slightly to start the week, and then possibly set up for that corrective move. But overall, if you want to be safe and look for to trade in line with the trend, if you're a trend continuation trader, then I would say wait for a deeper corrective move or retest before you look for that continuation to the downside. All right, that's EU. Let's look at GU. So GU, if we look at GU is at a major level of demand. All right, if we look to the left, always look to the left to go right. In the past, let's look at this on the weekly, actually. See it more clear. So we can see on the weekly, strong level of demand in the past. All right, also here, right, strong level. So this is a level that we pay attention to. Price tend to have a move away. Now on the daily, price is finding support. All right, it's finding support, but it's interesting because if we look at the 4-hour, price technically did break below here. It technically did break below right here. So Me personally, I was looking for some type of corrective play. All right, some type of corrective play, and then give us that continuation, excuse me, to continue to follow that trend. But if the dollar decides to give us a corrective play, we could see GU hold some support here before continuing. So price is starting to hold up. So the way I would look at this, I can even move this structure point over a little bit so we can see what structure levels I'm looking for. So now looking at this daily, all right, price held firm support, formed this bullish engulfing of this past daily candle, and now in this candle, it's forming some type of pin bar, because what price did, it pumped up some, and then it pulled back on this retest, and it's looking like it's want to correct to give us another move up. So on this correction up, I believe it will correct up more. Now, when we get around this structure level, that's an interesting level to look for, because this is a potential level where price could retest and then continue to wave from there, possibly, if the dollar want to, just pull back and just continue to boom to the upside, then that can happen more sooner than later. But if price was to come up and continue to pump above that structure point, then chances are we could see price head back up towards 1.25 psychological level before we get any more continued moves to the downside. All right, so those are the potential scenarios that I would look for in GU. It also depends if we're going to see some pound strength or not. We'll see how things develop. Also, forgot Forex Factory. All right, so this is a high volume week. All right, it's a lot of volume coming in the market. It's a lot of high impact news events. All right, I only focus on red folders, high impact, because that's what moves the market. All right, they just use the volume to accelerate the move that we see playing out, to accelerate the technicals that's already showing us their hand. We just play in line with that. All right, so we have JPY upper house elections. All right, we have a governor speaking for the pound. All right, Tuesday we got the cash rate statement for the New Zealand dollar. All right, Wednesday it's a lot going on Wednesday with the rate statement for the Canadian dollar, CPI for the US dollar, also some unemployment rate, employment change for the Australian dollar. Thursday PPI, so we got some inflation things going on, inflation numbers. All right, unemployment claims, and then Friday ending the week off with some retail sales and consumer sentiment. All right, so it's a lot going on when they're talking about fundamentals. We just want to just allow the technicals to show their hand and trade in line. Price action is king, but just know that these fundamental events, they use that to accelerate the market. All right, so let's look at Australian dollar, or AU. So AU as well, to go in line with the strong dollar. If we look at this on a weekly, you can even look at this on a monthly, but you can clearly see, all right, really from this top, we've been in this downtrend. All right, then if we look at this last monthly candle here, it printed a bearish engulfing breaking structure. All right, so any type of correction here is likely just a correction to continue to the downside. So I would look at this like this. If we look at this on a daily or even a weekly, we see price broke below structure here, forming a lower low. All right, now it all depends on how the dollar is going to react. All right, and some of this depends on the all too, because like I said, we have some employment numbers coming out and stuff like that. So at this level, you see price formed a bullish engulfing right here. At this level, price could possibly, because this move right here, we caught this. This was the signal I caught when I said TP1 was hit for 75 pips on AU. This was the entry that was given. We entered on this retest when price broke structure. This retest, we caught the sell here, and we caught that move down. Now we can see it didn't form a lower low. It formed support at this level of low. All right, so now it's holding support. So if price comes up, all right, because we look to the left, this is a previous level of demand or support. All right, so if price breaks firm above that, if price breaks above this, I would say on a correction or pullback, we could get another corrective move up, back deeper, back towards 0.70. All right, roughly around this structure point, before we then get possibly that continuation move. All right, which lines up with this previous structure play. Some will call this a bearish order block, but we can see this possibly come up before then continuing down. And if we judge that based off the weekly, price will be basically retesting around this previous structure demand. This is a major psychological level. That's also was a major previous level of demand. So price give a deeper correction, that would be the point that I would look for the continuation down. All right, so we see how that play out going into this week. USD CAD was actually a trade that I'm holding over the weekend right now, because I'm still in this trade for a sell. So if we look at this, right, look to the left, Where price is rejecting from, it's rejecting around here from this previous level of demand. The price had demand structure in the past, right? Strong demand structure. So now, when it came here in the past, it rejected as resistance, bearish engulfing on the daily, boom, sell off. All right, came here again, rejected, found support, bounced back up. And where it's finding support at, this is a point of structure to pay attention to as well. Because we look in the past, this was a major level of demand in the past, big move up. So that's the level that it's finding support from. But you see, eventually it became resistance where price broke above it, or excuse me, broke below it. It became a level of supply or resistance to pay attention to. All right, so this is how we will play this. Now, when price came up and printed this pattern right here on the daily, this is an evening star. When I saw that, I was like, okay, there could be a nice opportunity on a pullback, on the retest for continuation. So if we go down to the 4-hour, we can see this basically is a double top. This is a double top right here. So price formed a double top, broke down, boom. That's a confirmed double top. And then you see this move down on the 4-hour is the makeup of the evening star on the daily. And you see the double top, that's just added confluence, more confluence and confirmation to look for more sales. But of course, you want to wait for a pullback. So the idea of pullback or retest after a double top is to retest the neckline of the double top, which is around here. All right. This will be considered the neckline of this double top or this M formation. All right. Price broke down, retested it beautifully. Boom, continuation. So on this retest breakdown is where I caught my sell. I believe I'm up about 50 pips or so, 40 to 50 pips. All right. So I'm looking to continue for this to continue down. And you see here, price just broke this low. All right. So it's likely we could see that continue to the downside. All right. So if you want to look for opportunity on this, I would say if price slightly pull back on a pullback, you could look for opportunity to catch that down because this could continue to move down, down towards these lows. Now, in order to expect price to go even lower, we would need to see price come down and break below this structure. If it breaks below here, maybe catch the retest, and then look for the continuation down. Similar to this move over here in the past. It broke down, retested here, and then gave a nice continuation wave. All right, so we can look for something similar to happen here. This is going to depend on, of course, the dollar and heavily the Canadian dollar too, and oil. You know what I mean? So we'll see how things play out this week. For definitely bare minimum, price can head back down towards this structure level. Okay. All right, so let's look at GJ. So looking at GJ, we caught some nice sales on GJ. Really, I sent this out. If you look at the last weekly Forexcast from last Sunday, this is exactly what I was covering over here. I said price could possibly retest here, but I said if not here, it could head higher and come up to this structure level and then fall off. That's exactly what it did. So I was selling this breakdown. And you see price headed right back down towards 1.60, but around 1.60.5 or 160.5. Came back up, retested around 164. I caught some of this sell as well, but then now you see the end of week price corrected and pulled back all the way, moving that move back. So this is an entry point. This is a breaker bounce type or a breaker rejection type scenario, because in this scenario, if price was to break above here, break above 164, then I will expect this to come higher back towards 165 again. All right, and then before possibly then selling off again. All right. But of course, if it was to come up and break above that, then you can expect us to go even higher. All right. So I'm just going to be patient, see how price react here, because the price have another strong rejection from here. All right. You can still look to catch that move down. All right. GJ. So looking at GJ, I mean, not GJ. We just looked at GJ. EJ, EURJPY. All right. So if we look on the weekly, price had a nice sell off from this level of supply in the past. All right. All right. It's all price action and market structure, keeping it simple. Price formed a bearish engulfing and then boom, continued to sell off. That was a sign of sellers coming in. I went over this as well, was anticipating this sell. So now what price did, we broke our trend line. All right. This was the pullback I covered on last Sunday. I said on this correction, look for another potential continuation move. That's what we got. All right. So now if you look at this, look at the daily, it looks similar to EU as far as like the type of price action, like a bullish hammer, bullish pin bar type play. So overall, I'm still bearish on this. So I would say on this pullback, maybe retest around this structure, possibly a little higher before we then continue to the downside. I am expecting price to stay below here. All right, below that breakdown. If we look to the left, what gives me a sign of price giving a bigger move to the downside, really likely back down towards here, back down towards 135, is because of structure break. Because we look to the left, this is a previous level of supply. All right, if I look even further to the left, let's see over here in the past, major level of supply here in the past, right? So that's something to pay attention to. So we had a firm break below that. So that's a sign that we're likely going lower. So now on this pullback, either retest it at, possibly a little higher, but overall, I would look for that corrective move to catch the continuation move back down, likely towards 135, possibly lower. All right, GBPUSD. All right, so looking at GN. So if we look at GN, what price did, looking to the left, this was a major, like this was the level of demand here or support. Price broke, retested that as resistance, big move away. So these are structural levels I pay attention to. All right, eventually came back, rejected that again before then breaking above it. But then, and again, this became another level of resistance. When it retested that again, sold off beautifully. Pull back up, and then from there, price has been just ranging a bit. All right, but it's ranging between structure. So it still came up towards structure and it's rejecting. It's failing to break above there. So right here, we see price broke down back below structure, slight pullback. So on this pullback, I would look for the potential continuation move down. All right, because also looking at this is the level of demand too. All right, so if I go down to like, let's say the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, we see price actually broke below that structure. So on this corrective move, I will look for a potential continuation move down. All right, this is our high. This is our lower high. This is another potential lower high for the move down. All right, so this is a way that you could potentially catch this. All right, let's look at this. So what I would do is I would take, like, let's say my counter trend line. You know, look at this as like some type of bearish flag play. All right, so when I look at that, all right, so if price comes down and breaks back below structure on a pullback, you know, corrective move, maybe retest, look for that continuation down on GN. All right, looking at the daily, this really could come all the way back down towards here, towards 1.91, excuse me, back down towards that level. Because looking to the left, that's roughly around the level of demand structure. All right. So those of you that be asking me, hey, what's a good target for this? What's a good target for that? Just look at price action. Price action is going to tell you, like, I'm not some genie or some magician that I just know how to just give you the perfect, you know, potential take profit targets. It's all based off of price action. It's all based off of structure. All right. Wherever you see strong levels of buyers, strong levels of sellers, you know what I mean? So it's all based off of that. So let's look at Euro NZD. And I'm going to show you Euro NZD. This is the last one. So we're right here, price formed a bearish engulfing. All right. On a weekly, we got a bearish engulfing. Good sign that price is likely to continue further to the downside. It rejected from a point of structure where price had a sell-off in the past, right? And revisited here. So it's no coincidence that I'm looking for price to come back down here again to that same level of structure. All right, but first, let's look at how we could catch some type of corrective move first. So let's go down to, let's say, the 4-hour, or even let's look at the daily first, the top-down approach, top-down analysis. So boom, impulsive move. We broke below structure here. Broke below structure, looking to the left, higher low structure, broke below that. All right, if we roll over, this was a previous level of like demand. You know what I mean? So that's a key indication that price is likely going to head lower. All right. So it would be nice to see some type of retest of this again, maybe a retest of this, and you know, something like that. You know, that could be a nice potential play and then continue. But looking at this daily candle, how this daily candle closed, the last daily candle closed firmly below.
It might not pull up that high, but I'm interested to see how the daily candle closed on Monday for this pair. But if I go down to the 4 hour, because you can see price already broke below, and this was it gave you a retest right here. So really on this retest, that would have been a nice potential entry right there. Stop loss could have been really above there. And you see after that, price dropped. Boom, 200 plus pips. So that's the type of scenarios you look for on the retest. But then after that, it formed a lower low. Okay, formed a lower low there. So now I would say either wait for another pullback or retest towards this level, then possibly look for that continuation down. Like that's still a possibility for it to do that before continuing to go. And remember, we got NZD interest rates and everything coming out on Tuesday. So this is likely going to give us some volume. You know what I mean? And we already see the technicals is leaning towards sales. So chances are it's going to set up to accelerate the move that we see based off the technicals. All right. That happens a lot. Or it can just give it a deeper pullback and then continue. But we just got to play the price action. So I'll say either wait for a pullback. All right. Then look to continue it. All right. Or wait for price to continue to break a low. And on the break of that low, look for a pullback, possibly retest of that low, and then continue down. All right. So all in all, you just wait. I will wait for the right corrective play. All right. Either that or this is another scenario. So it's important to understand the scenarios or how you can trade these things, you know, how you can look for potential entries. All right. Because to go even lower, we would need price to break this level of support. All right. And if you look to let's go to the 4 hour. That's where price is forming. That's where prices formed some support from. All right. It failed to break below there. All right. This level here failed to break below. Found support. So price comes down here, forming a lower low and break below structure. Now that's a sign we're going lower. So I would say wait for a pullback, possibly a retest of that, and then catch that continuation move down. All right. So just keep it simple. Let price come to us. And, you know, let's execute. Let's catch these pips. Let's make this money. We got bills to pay. We got trips to take. We got things to do. We got land to buy, right? Whatever you're doing, right, with your profits or whatever you plan to do with your profits, keep that in mind when you continuing to go on this journey and just stay consistent, stay amped, you know, stay dedicated, stay disciplined. All right. So be sure to like and subscribe. Please hit that like button. As well as subscribe. You could join our free Telegram if you're just looking to, you know, there's people in the free Telegram that take advantage of just the projections I give and make profit that way. Or if you're looking for that hands-on approach, you're looking for, you know, the exact trade targets that I give will take profit, stop losses, and things like that. Help you pass some challenges, help you get funded, whatever you're trying to do. Also, FX Sway is the recommended broker. That's our broker that we use. So again, that promotion still lasts. If you fund an account, open an account with FX Way, fund it with $500, I will give you a free month of live sessions with me and a team, as well as trade ideas or signals with the exact stop losses and take profit. All right. So keep that in mind. See y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed.